Hello students, I hope you all are set and excited for the last topic of this term. This is the last chapter that we are going to do in this session and the title is The Great Stone Face. How many times does it happen that you are traveling by road or you're going somewhere or you step out of the house, you look at the clouds, you look at the mountains and you kind of see a shape. It resembles something. In India, many people look at stones, try to find gods in them. They get inspired by them. There are so many things that people find in nature. Has it happened with you also? Take a look at these clouds. What do you see? I kind of see in the first cloud that someone is trying to float. Yeah, do you see that too? What do you see in the second one? Do you see a sort of a face? A person looking over a valley? Yeah? There are so many features that you would see in nature, and the story that we are going to read today is of one such feature. That feature is known as the Great Stone Face. When you go near the mountain, all the stones look different. They don't create a picture. But when you step away from it, when you are in the valley and when you look at the mountain, it looks like a face. Take a look at this. This is Badami in Karnataka. Doesn't it look like a face? A man with a hat? Yeah? So many different things nature offers you. This story is about such a young boy who lives in a valley where people believe that someday someone will come who will look exactly like the great stone face and he'll be the most noble of all men around. So we are going to read that story. Now, what is a prophecy? Prophecy is a belief that tells us what will happen in the future. The prophecy in the story was that a noble and a great person would be born who would look exactly like the face on the mountain. Let's find out how much of it will be correct. We will read the story in summary now. Let's read the summary of the story. There was a little boy called Ernest who lived with his mother in the valley. Far away there was a huge rock formation that looked like a smiling human face. It was called the Great Stone Face. Now for Ernest, he never went to school. He never really learned anything. But still he had an inspiration from the Great Stone Face that someday he would be inspired and someday some great man will come who would look like the Great Stone Face. That kept him inspired and that kept him learning in life. Excuse me. Ernest's mother told him an old prophecy. It said that a child would be born in the valley who would become the greatest and the noblest person alive, whose face would be exactly like the great stone face. So all the people in the valley would look at the great stone face and be inspired. They felt a sort of security. They believed that there is some positive spirit in that stone face and it looks at the people in the valley and it takes care of the people in the valley. Ernest never forgot this prophecy and waited for the day when the great stone face would come alive. The great stone face was his teacher, and Ernest thought that it recognized him and smiled at him with kindness and encouragement. One day, a man named Gathergold returned to the valley. He was a son of the valley, came back to the valley, and he had earned a lot of money. People thought the prophecy had come true and they started assuming that Gathergold looked just like the great stone face. But Ernest was puzzled because he did not believe that Gathergold looked anything like the great stone face. He was disappointed that the people thought that he looked like the great stone face and there was no likeness between Gathergold and the great stone face. Years went on and Ernest grew to be a young man. He attracted little notice from people. Why? Because he did his work simply without expecting anything from anyone. Whatever he thought was right and whatever he thought needed to be done, he kept doing it. He was kind, industrious, gentle and very friendly, but he didn't expect anyone to do anything for him. They did not know that the great stone face had become a teacher to him, and that the sentiment which was expressed in it would enlarge the young man's heart and fill it with deeper sympathies than other hearts. So Ernest connected to the great stone face, and slowly he started learning from the great stone face. From it he learned patience, he learned friendliness, he learned care and being kind. This is what he learned from the great stone face. So his ideal teacher was the great stone face. Neither did Ernest know that the thoughts which came to him so naturally in the fields and at the fireside were of a higher tone than other men. That means he was more gentler and more humane than other humans around. A simple soul, simple as when his mother first told him the old story, he beheld the marvelous face looking down the valley and still wondered why its human likeness was so long in coming. So Ernest's biggest dream in life was to see the person who would finally resemble the great stone face. So first we had Gathergold, now we have an army personnel who's come back. He's a famous commander and he's come back to the valley, and people believe that General Blood and Thunder looked exactly like the great stone face. But when Ernest looked at him, he could find no resemblance. And the second time around, Ernest is disappointed again. But he can hear in his heart, he has hope. He still believes that no problem, fear not, someday the great stone face will definitely come. Now Ernest has become old, he's become wrinkled, and a poet comes to meet Ernest, and that poet has written beautiful poems about humanity and human life and emotions. And Ernest sees that poet and he tells him that his writing is perfect, it's absolutely beautiful, but the poet starts crying. The poet says, I'm sorry, whatever I have written, I truly am not that. I have just written it, but I do not follow that in real life. A person who will be the great stone face will follow everything that I have written in real life. So Ernest and the poet sit and chit chat for a while, and then Ernest goes out to meet the people. People of the valley started coming to Ernest to take advice and to learn from him, to take guidance in issues. That means Ernest has become a man of importance. He'd become such a person who would be of help to everyone around. So with the poet, Ernest went to meet the people. Ernest addressed everyone, and during that address, people had gathered and the audience was listening to him. While the audience was listening to him, the poet was observing Ernest and the great stone face. He was looking at both of them, and the poet soon realized that Ernest was the man who looked exactly like the great stone face. He realized that Ernest was that man who deserved to be the great stone face because his deeds were good and pious, because he was the person who deserved the respect that the great stone face deserved because of the deeds that he'd done. He'd lived for the other humans in the valley. He'd shown them kindness and humanity and generosity. And that is what the great stone face represented. All the things that the great stone face represented, Ernest imbibed them in his own life, in his character. That's what we learn from this story, that if you have the right teacher and the right example and the right motivation, you will turn out to be the right person. Even though Ernest did not have a teacher, he took the great stone face as his teacher. And from him he learned all the values of life. And later on turned out to be the most respected man in the valley. I hope you all understood the chapter well, children. And thank you all for being so patient and listening to all the lessons. This is the last one that we have in this session. I hope you all do very well in your examinations. Thank you all.